Fighters, DOA, Kerrang Radio, good morning, my name's Alex Baker. How are you feeling today? It's Bank Holiday Friday! Meaning, for once, you can have a lie-in. It's a good feeling. Something I'm obviously not sharing with you. I've been up since 5. So there we go, that's how I roll. But right, up next, a wonderful girl called Jemma Pixie Hixon. Now, you may or may not have heard of her. She's been all over the media for the past couple of days, essentially because she's become a YouTube phenomenon. Now, she's had to turn down loads of interviews, but she was really keen to do one with us here at Kerrang because she likes Kerrang, so that's pretty cool. So she's going to come on very soon and chat to her over the phone. And the reason we're chatting to her over the phone rather than her coming in is because she suffers very severely from agoraphobia. She's been a singer ever since a very early age, but she suffered with anxiety and panic attacks since she's very young, since about 6 years old. And that's become so debilitating over the years that now she hasn't left the house in over 2 years, even though she's literally one of the most talented singers I've heard in a long time. She's from Malvern, which has recently become popularised, obviously, by Cher Lloyd from X Factor. But she kicks Cher Lloyd's ass. Cher Lloyd ain't got nothing on this girl, trust me. She's absolutely wicked, and she's had over like 8 million YouTube hits worldwide. She's absolutely massive in China and Japan. They want to get her out there for tours and stuff, but the rub is she can't leave her house. Every time she does, she has massive panic attacks and has to go back in. And consequently, she hasn't left in over 2 years. I find her absolutely fascinating character, and she's absolutely lovely as well. So she's going to be on the way. I've got some Kasabian come up as well. She's going to do a bit of a sing-song for us as well. It's not live, but I'm going to take one of her YouTube videos because she did a cover of, you know, Behind Blue Eyes, The Who, and Limp Bizkit. She's done an absolutely wicked cover of that. So we're going to play that out for you in a second as well. Jemma Pixie Hixon is on the way. Kerrang Radio. Music on the way still from Lacala, some 30 Seconds to Mars, Arctic Monkeys and Green Day. My name's Alex Baker, in for Cyan Hill this week. Not this whole week. Danielle and Dean were doing it earlier in the week. I want to introduce you to someone very, very awesome who I've become massively intrigued by over the past sort of week or so. She's called Jemma Pixie Hixon. If you've just tuned in and you've got no idea what I'm talking about, this girl has become a phenomenon on YouTube. Basically, this is her backstory. She's been a singer for years and years and years. She's got an incredible voice, a really, really beautiful, soulful voice. And she's not been able to perform in stage or in person for a long time because she's suffered with anxiety and panic attacks since a very early age. And now she's agoraphobic, which, if you don't know what agoraphobia is, it's essentially, in a nutshell, it's a lot more in-depth than this, but essentially in a nutshell, it's a fear of open spaces. So it's the fear of being outdoors, the fear of being outside. And often what agoraphobics experience when they leave their property or their home or whatever, it's just panic attacks, and they need to get home and they can't sort of deal with it, which is a massive shame because she's so talented and she would easily be on the world stage were it the case that she could get out of a home that she's been basically housebound in for the past 2 years. What I love about Jemma Pixie Hixon is that has not let her that situation has not deterred her at all. What she's done is she's embraced modern technology, set up a vocal booth in her bedroom with a camera. She's got GarageBand on her Mac and a mic, and she's like a good condenser mic, and she just sings. And she's uploading these videos onto YouTube. She's done covers of all sorts of things, from like Rihanna to Linkin Park to The Who / Limp Bizkit, which we're going to be playing for you very soon. Done loads of sort of different things. She's got a wide variety of musical tastes. And then she uploads those videos and people watch them. And she's been inspired, I think, by the likes of, like, you know, there's been all sorts of lip-syncing videos and stuff like that in the past. The difference with Jemma Pixie Hixon is that she's got a very, very, very good voice. She's become a YouTube phenomenon. China and Japan are going absolutely mad for her. She's had like millions and millions and millions of YouTube videos, of YouTube views on the videos. And she's joining me on the phone right now. So, Jemma, how you doing, my love?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Oh, thank you for asking. Not enough people ask these days. You say, how are you? People just go, yeah, all right. And you're like, oh, okay. Thanks for asking. Yeah, very well. I've become absolutely fascinated by you over the past sort of week or so. First of all, you live in Malvern in Worcestershire, which has been recently popularised by Cher from X Factor, which hasn't been potentially the most incredible thing for Malvern ever, especially considering in the Malvern Hills there lives Jemma Pixie Hixon, who is infinitely more talented than Cher from X Factor. And you've got a much more interesting story as well, because you've been performing and been singing for ages now. How long have you been singing for?
Since I was tiny, like ever since I can remember, really.
And have you always had a good voice, and did you have vocal coaching and stuff like that, or is it just like a natural talent?
I don't know, really. I haven't really had vocal coaching. I did some like school, like, you know, exams, like singing grades, but no, I've just kind of always just sang, and that's what's come out. Because
I think it's absolutely fascinating. One of the reasons I think you're such a fascinating character is because you've developed agoraphobia over the past sort of 2 years. Is that right?
Yeah, well, kind of. I've been housebound for the last 2 years, but I've been battling with like anxiety and panic attacks since I was about 6 years old. So.
And have you got any idea sort of where they came from, or did they just one of those things that one day you just started getting them and you weren't able to get rid of them?
I'm not sure really. Like, I think it's like a mix of lots of stuff, but I can remember being like the age of 6 and in shopping centres and just feeling really nervous and kind of hot and just wanting to get back home really. So I think it just kind of developed and got worse and worse.
Yeah, because I mean you hear all stories all the time of people in the media about artists and bands, like people turning to drugs and drink to tackle anxiety issues. And this is something, to be honest, I've never really understood. Until this year, I never really understood why so many like major celebrities, like people like Robbie Williams, and like, you know, plays to crowds of sort of 500,000 people, like everything at his feet, you know, the world at his feet, why they'd feel the need to turn to drink and drugs and stuff like that. And I realised for the first time this year, it's because people get scared.
Yeah.
People get really, really nervous and really, really anxious. Generally, I'm a very, very anxious person myself, which is why I sort of am so fascinated by you, because what I love about you is that you've not let your agoraphobia and your anxiety hold you back in terms of performing. You've just found a new way to perform.
Yeah, I saw people singing on YouTube, so I kind of thought, why don't I just give it a go? Because I thought, you know, some of my friends would probably watch it and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I just kind of set it up. I have, like, a Mac computer, so it's just my webcam, and then I just sing away, so...
And what software do you use? Have you just got, like, GarageBand or something?
Yeah, I just have GarageBand, so...
Oh, it's so basic. I love it. But so you've been doing loads of different songs. You've done everything from sort of Rihanna and Eminem to stuff like The Who, Limp Bizkit, Behind Blue Eyes, and we're going to be playing that out in a little bit. I mean, have you got quite a broad musical taste? I mean, is there any kind of music you don't like, or do you sort of embrace it all?
No, definitely. I grew up listening to like The Cure and The Smiths and people like that. And yeah, I don't really like to limit myself to one genre, so I kind of will listen to anything and everything, really.
That's good. Well, your YouTube videos now have had, like, how many millions of views are we talking? We're talking over sort of 3 or 4 million views in total, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's coming up to 3 million, on the England YouTube. So.
3 million. And how many have you had in sort of like China and Japan? Because apparently you've become a massive success in China and Japan.
Yeah, well, that was kind of weird. I think they kind of, I didn't know about the stuff in China until very recently because I think they basically took one of my videos from my YouTube and put it on a site called Youku, which is their YouTube.
Okay.
And one of my videos, Love the Way You Lie, has over 6 million views on just the one. So.
Oh my life. That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit crazy.
Because the thing is that the musical culture over there in China is very, very different to how it is over here. Over here, people these days are a little bit too cool for school. They're a little bit like, yeah, I like that band, or I like that artist, or whatever, but they don't sort of give too much away. But in China, they're just all for it.
Yeah,
they're like,
definitely.
I love music.
Yeah.
I love this person. I worship this person. Is that something does that make you anxious? Does that sort of set off an anxiety and alarm bells, or is it because it's in the privacy of your own home? It just makes you feel better?
I think because I'm at home, I kind of feel a bit more secure, but it is kind of crazy. They are like, they're very supportive, which is really amazing. So
yeah,
that's good.
And you've been approached to do sort of like collaborations and stuff like that in the past, and obviously you've turned them down just for fear of not being able to go out. I mean, is this something? I mean, how does it develop with agoraphobia? Is this something that you're trying to work towards getting over, or are you sort of just putting up with it for now? And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of. I've had so much therapy in the past, like because it's been going on for so long. I saw doctors come like from a young age, and then you go through this whole big system of like gateway workers and all the mental care stuff, and but it's kind of something that I've done so much therapy now that I kind of realise it's something that I have to work through myself.
Yeah, in your own time.
Yeah, you can have like lots of support and they can tell you lots of different techniques, but I'm the person who has to kind of face my fear in the end. So.
Yeah, and is that frustrating for you then? Do you get frustrated by it?
Yeah, I do, definitely, because I can think so logically about things and I can say, look, there's nothing, scary about the outside world, and you've done it like when you were younger, so I'm pretty sure you can do it again. But as soon as the panic attack sets in, like all logic goes out the window, and it's so frustrating because you can try to talk yourself out of it, but I just can't control it.
Well, I remember I've only had a panic attack once, and I was in a lecture at uni. And I was sitting there in uni, just having the lecture, no big deal, nothing unusual. And I started feeling just a bit rough. I had like a bit of a pain in my chest. I'd convinced myself I was dying.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, yeah.
I literally ran. I ran to the doctor's, which was kind of on the way back to my student accommodation. And I ran in and I was guys, I'm dying. And they sort of said, no, you're not. You're having a panic attack. They could see it straight away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm definitely dying. And they sort of laid me down and just relaxed me. And then I kind of went to sleep for a little bit in their sort of hospital bed and then woke up and I was all right. But it's such an unusual sort of horrible feeling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you do. That is the main thing that's so scary. Is it sounds silly to people probably that have never had a panic attack, but you literally do think you're dying, and it's horrible. And like, however many you have, every single time you get it, you just think you're going to die. So
yeah, and exactly like you say, it's not like you can. When you're in the heat of the moment, it's not like you're going, "Oh, this is just a panic attack."
Yeah.
I know that. This is fine. You get totally wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
And I guess it might be like, well, it's definitely not like me being naive. But I mentioned to you just before we went on air that I spent literally about 20 minutes watching one of your YouTube videos, which is you talking to camera about the latest MAC Wonder Woman makeup products, right? Which is like, to be fair, as a guy, I was pretty bored, but it was absolutely fascinating. And one of the reasons I was so fascinated by it was because I love the fact, by the way, about 18 minutes in, you even made a comment and you said, I reckon most people won't still be watching this.
Yeah.
You'll probably be bored and have gone. But one thing I found about it so fascinating, which completely highlights my sort of naivety, and I guess a lot of other people that don't understand conditions like anxiety and panic attacks and agoraphobia and stuff like that, is that you're such a normal girl. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're totally, everything about you is totally cool and totally normal and everything's fine. It's just you've got this like huge fear of open space.
Yeah, definitely. It's like people don't really understand it, I don't think, because they just think if you have agoraphobia, you're going to be kind of different or weird, or you're not going to like normal things that normal girls or guys like, you know. But I like to do everything that normal people like to do, you know. I'm just a normal girl, but I just happen to be, you know, going through something a bit different. So
yeah, and I love how kind of quite pointed you are with people, like all the trolls on YouTube and on the internet. They say things like, you're like this or you're like that, and you just really lay it. You almost don't even get angry. You almost just lay it on the line. You say, well, you're obviously an idiot because you haven't explored this avenue, and it kind of you just own people left, right, and centre.
Well, I do try. I don't like to get like angry with people, so I just kind of, you know, I do try not to respond to like lots of negativity too, but. You know, you'll always get negative comments.
Well, I think the problem about the internet is that people just hide behind the screen, don't they? I mean, it'd be very, very different if one of them was to knock on your door and say it to your face. Yeah. I guarantee 99.9% of them would never even dream of doing something so horrific, but they just type it away, don't they? Look at you. But very annoying people. But I'm glad you don't let them deter you, because I think it's absolutely fantastic that you're doing what you're doing. And like I say, you've got such a great voice. And not just saying that to sort of blow smoke. You really do have a very, very good voice.
Thank you.
And I hope that, like, you know, if you want to sort of overcome it and get out there on the stage again, that you'll sort of achieve those goals. And if you ever do, you're always welcome to come into Kerrang and come and hang out, do a show with me. That'll be all right.
That would be awesome.
So if you ever feel the need, feel free. Just tap me up.
All right, I will do.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jemma. It's lovely to hear from you. And what's your YouTube channel name again?
YouTube.com/Jemma Hixon.
Okay, cool. Make sure people get on there. And we're going to play Behind Blue Eyes that you recorded in your... Is it kind of just in the bedroom, your studio?
Yeah, I just kind of set up my laptop and my mic in my room and just film away.
Wicked. Well, I'm so pleased you're doing so well, and big high five to you.
Thank you.
This is Behind Blue Eyes by Jemma Pixie Hixon here on Kerrang.
No one bites back as hard. defeated. They have blue eyes. No one knows how to say that they're sorry. Don't worry, I'm not telling lies, but my dreams, they are as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours only lonely. The love is vengeance that's never free. No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man. They have blue eyes.
What a voice. Jemma Pixie Hixon, make sure you check her out. She's on Facebook, YouTube, and all over the world. She's absolutely awesome, and what a sweet girl as well. Music on the way from 30 Seconds to Mars and the Carlo.
Kerrang Radio.